Hello Blue Byte fans, welcome to a very special edition of Blue Byte Backstage. Today we want to show you the team behind Anno Online, and I would say we get started right away and start our tour. So now on my left side I have Bob, who I guess a lot of people consider to be very, very lucky because you have a job that most players dream about. You test games, you play games for a living. Is that correct?
It is indeed, yes. I am Bob, I am the lead tester for Anno Online, as you can see. And yeah, pretty much the tester's job is usually misunderstood because even though people think that we are playing games all day, we're actually really doing really repetitive stuff and doing things over and over again. Some people might actually get that like a minus on the job, but it's really an amazing job and I wouldn't change it for anything, basically.
Sounds great. Anything particular you could show us? What's a typical task that you do for Anno Online?
Well, at the moment, for example, we are testing the balancing on this account, like following a normal user path and making sure that all the needs are satisfied with the resources we are given. And so far it's looking good, but some other days we might actually do some stress tests, basically getting out of the normal user path, stressing the game, trying to break it in every way possible, and I don't know, it depends on the particular function that we are testing. We might actually focus our efforts on this particular area. Depends on pretty much the day and the urgency of the tasks.
Is it sometimes frustrating not to be able to reproduce a certain bug?
Pretty much, yes. Especially because in a game of Anno Online's nature, we have to progress through a lot and then repeat things that takes us to reproduce maybe 4 or 5 hours, and it can get pretty frustrating eventually. It depends on the particularity. But that's some of the factors that we have to deal with, basically.
So, when you are able to reproduce a bug, when you can find the reasons why it's happening, what are the next steps? What do you do afterwards?
Well, once we reproduce a bug and we have like clear steps to reproduce them, we have to file them in a bug report on our tool that we use, it's Jira. And we have to give information about in which version we noticed it. If it is happening on a particular function or branch, then we also have to specify it. Then we give detailed steps to reproduce it. And then we basically summarize how often it happens and how many people will be affected by this, so we can evaluate the severity and the impact for the players. And then once everything is done, we send it over to our fellow coders and they will do their best to fix it.
I'm sure you're not able to find all the bugs by yourself. Does the community play any part in finding bugs?
In fact, actually, yes, they make a big part on the closed beta test. That's pretty much what it's for. And we really, really appreciate the feedback that the community is giving us because they are helping us narrow a lot of bugs that we are having. And we are definitely listening to their feedback. We are addressing all these bugs as fast as we can, and our coders are working hard on getting them fixed.
Finally, are there any interesting, funny, or specific bugs you would like to share with the community?
Actually, yeah. Now that you mention it, we found a really, really funny bug back in the day, and it's currently on our low priority list because we have to fix a lot of stuff before getting to this area, but you can actually give beard to female avatars, which is really funny. People can try this at home, but don't get your hopes up because it won't be on the final version, so yeah. Basically, once you are on the avatar creator, you get a switch to facial hair category on a man avatar, and then switch to the female category. And now you can give your female avatar a beard. So, once you create it, it will stay here for your friends and the community to see. You can even change the color of it and everything, so it's really cool. But yeah, this actually made us crack a laugh. We told the designers they were actually thinking about leaving it as an Easter egg, but then we discarded it. And yeah, it will be fixed, hopefully soon.
Let's hope soon the girls don't have any beards anymore.
Pretty much.
Bob, thank you very much. Thank you for showing us around. Thank you for introducing us to what you do. And let's hope to continue finding bugs and make this thing bug-free. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Moving on. So moving on, I now have Armin with me, showing us some graphics of Anno Online. And I mean, why don't you just dive in and show the people out there what you do for Anno Online?
Yeah, I'm pleased to do so. Yeah, we will start with the example that the base, what we used for Anno Online, is of course the buildings from Anno 1404, the PC game. And these are some buildings we have here, and that we were rendered out in 2D then and reworked then for the presentation in our 2D game later on. As you see here, that's 3D stuff. So we switch to the 2D stuff. As you see here, these are the original rendered buildings, which doesn't fit very good in our very natural painted 2D landscape that we have here. As you see, we did some rework on the roof and on the building itself, so it just fits nicer into the game.
I guess you're not only doing buildings. I think everybody in Anno Online also knows the landscape is quite amazing. Do you work on that as well?
Yeah, we put a lot of work on the landscape as well, of course. What we did is here, for example, here are some steps where you can see the first iterations of the game, of the ground material, for example, the grass and the dirt and some stone elements and so on. And we figured out, of course, we have to use a lot more of these detail to create these fine natural look that we want to achieve. This, for example, is a part of the island, only a very small part, indicating with these blue squares that we have here, the amount of detail patches that we put on the landscape to achieve this look. And yeah, and by increasing the counts, we're also increasing our natural look here. As you see here, flowers, trees, bushes and so on. Everything is hand painted, fitting, of course, to our typical Anno style. Yeah, and that's the final version as it is currently in the game.
So one thing I can see right from here is everything looks very unique. Is this something you really try, that every building has some own details and doesn't seem like a copy of another building?
Yeah, that's very important. For example, the farm fields. Of course, you build a lot of farm fields around the farm, so it would be not so nice if they all look the same. So we create up to 8 different versions of each farm field, just to indicate it's new, it's natural, it grows up, and it looks kind of different every time you place a new farm field. Yeah, that's very important for the game itself.
While I have you with me, do you think you could draw something for me and the people out there?
Sure, I'm pleased. Just a short example how we did this. This is a draft of one of the loading screens we will create for the game, and of course we do not paint everything with pen and paper. We do that directly on the screen. And well, using this kind of tablets is kind of an easy thing to do so. Okay, so painting a ship, shape of the ship in the distance might be an easy thing to do. And of course, to finalize these things, then takes more time, of course. Just to give a very easy and very fast example.
Looks great already. I mean, so no, thank you very much for taking the time. I think that was very interesting for everyone, and we'll all hope to see new, great, and beautiful art assets in the game.
You will do, yeah.
Thank you very much. Let's move on. And now we're in the heart of the game. We're with the game design, and with me is Tai. Tai, maybe you can introduce yourself and tell the people out there, what do you do for Anno Online?
Hi, I'm Tai. I'm game designer on Anno Online, and yeah, my job is to document and work out the rules of the game so the coder can implement them.
When you say document, this means you don't play all the time, but you actually have to structure in theory how the game should work?
Yeah, unfortunately I'm not playing all the time, but yeah, I write down the rules and think about the game, how a new rule would affect another one, and yeah.
So on a more practical side, is there any new feature that's coming up you may want to talk about?
Yeah, I can give you some information, for example, about the trade feature. Here we focus on, because we are a browser game, and we focus on that the player can interact with each other. So we hope that the trade will enforce that.
So will it be different from Anno 1404?
Yeah, so the player trades more with other players than with the NPC, and he can, for example, adjust the prices for which he wants to sell the resources, adjust the amount of resources he wants to sell, and other players can then accept these offers and transport the goods from one island to another player.
So it's going to be a very strong community-driven feature.
That's the plan.
That sounds great. Tai, thank you so much for your time. Really, really interesting, and we hope to see a lot of new features coming up soon. Thank you very much. Let's move on. So now with me is Rainer. Rainer, maybe you can introduce yourself and tell the people out there what you do for Anno Online.
I'm Rainer, I'm the lead programmer of Anno Online, and most of my tasks are working on the graphics engine, on the user interface, and I also manage the other programmers.
Do you maybe have something special you would like to show to us?
I could show you one of the features I've done in the last few days. If I place peasant residence, you see on the screen these red areas. This red area is the blocked area, and the green grid is the area where you could place a building. When you move around, you immediately see a response.
Of course, you're not only developing features, but you're also taking care that the game is running smoothly and that certain things that are not going so well are being fixed. On the right side, I see some graphs. Maybe you can tell us something about that.
Yes, you see a graph from our monitoring tool. With our monitoring tool, we kind of found out if there are problems on our live system.
Rainer, thank you very much for your time. Very interesting, and thank you for developing features and keeping the game stable and smooth. Thank you very much. That's it for our Anno Online special. I really hope you enjoyed the tour. The team has to go back to work. There are still a few minor things to work on. So pretty much all I have to do is say goodbye. Thank you very much. See you next time.